Round 4, Titans League, Group A. So, as things stand, Sebastian has had an amazing performance so far. He won 3-0 in the starting round, 3-0 in the second round, and in the third round, he ran into another player who looked unbeatable, Leary, and he lost 2-1. So this is round 4. Most people in my chat were just predicting a Sebastian 3-0 because of how good he's looked. And the thing to mention with him is he's likely playoffs if he gets at least one win here today. But first place, he's going to need a lot of victories because Leary on the other side, Leary's at 11 wins after 4 rounds. So at best, Sebastian can get to 10 here. He basically needs Leary to drop some games, and he never does. So unless Leary does drop those games, Leary may end up being in first place. But Leary's got Yo to play in the final round. Sebastian has Margougou here, and then Sebastian has Dragonstar. So they are the lower strength of the group, you could say. Now, Margougou could not stop talking about how excited he was to be in the group with Doubt. He told me before the groups were even drawn, he said, T90, I know it's not rigged, and I know it may not be very humble of me. This is my best Margougou impression. But please put me in the group with Doubt. I want to relegate Doubt. That was Margougou. And it wasn't rigged, okay? They had a system. The admins did it. It was all live streamed for transparency. And guess what? They got put into the group with Doubt. And so then Doubt was like, I can't wait to relegate Margougou. And Margougou's like, I can't wait to relegate Doubt. Well, right now it looks like they're going to be relegated together. Which is hilarious. I understand that could be a little unprofessional to laugh at, but it is too funny. Now, they'll play each other in the final round. Doubt is already relegated. So I think what would be kind of interesting is if Margougou gets wins today to give himself hope, and then Doubt has nothing to lose, and Doubt could bring Margougou down with him. Now, for Margougou to have decent chances, he has to pass Dragonstar. Margougou has 2 wins right now. Dragonstar has 5. So I think Margougou needs to realistically get 1 or 2 wins here. I guess 1 win and maybe he's happy. And then he'd need to win 2-1. No, I don't even know if that's good enough. Because I think that would tie him with Dragonstar. And Dragonstar wins on tiebreak. So yeah, he probably needs 3 or 4 victories in the final round. Either way, when we do see Margougou in Doubt, even if they're both out, I think it's going to be a really fun series with lots of trolling and lots of fun. And lots of pride, because they'll at least get to see who's better between the two of them. Sebastian's gone for Armenians. And then Margougou's gone for the Malians. I forget who Margougou was playing. I think it was maybe Yo on this map, and he looked good. This has been by far Margougou's best map so far. And so he went very aggressive. It was super well balanced with the aggression on the outside and the aggression on the inside. But again, this is Sebastian we're talking about. So Sebastian, he'll look at Margougou with 2 wins and think that he should win 3-0. And then he may also be thinking about getting that 3-0 against Dragonstar as well. So if you guys have any questions, any thoughts, want to say what's up, good time to do so. No co-casters lined up for the day. I'm just kind of chilling here, enjoying the day. Nice little Monday. It's apparently a holiday in my country. I didn't even know that. So we have a few more people watching the stream maybe. I'm not off for holidays. In fact, I normally stream during holidays and on weekends, so will Sebastian do the thing here? I don't think Sebastian will have to go for the extremes that Dragonstar felt he had to, but maybe he could try the Armenian thing. T90, did they ever catch the wood chopping man in your area? Nope, he's still on the loose. He's still on the loose. No one's been able to find him. That Florida man's still out there. Sebastian scouting now. I wonder, did Sebastian see the dock? I think I showed it on screen. Yeah, he did. So it's kind of interesting now. There was another evacuation game just yesterday where players also went forward dock. That's got to be because of some training shenanigans. And definitely, word is going around that going for the dock here maybe gives you access to more fish because you're not as close to the edge of the map and there's more water. It also may help you if you're going to be aggressive on the water. What's been my favorite map so far? My favorite map so far is probably Evac, honestly. Evac produces some crazy games. I've been happy with the maps overall. The goal was to have a mix. So the thing about a mixed map pool is not everyone's going to like every map because some people might not like water, for example. They might not like hybrid. They might not like only land. They might not like walls. But I've been pretty happy with it. Been slightly disappointed by the amount of bans on Pacific Islands. But I'm also not surprised by that because of how tricky that map can be. And I think we'll see that in the playoffs a lot. So Sebastian scouting Margougou. Margougou up slightly faster here. And so Margougou gets a couple hits in, also gets the stable up. Sebastian did see the stable, so he knows what his opponent's going for. And Sebastian with some pretty big walls already. And that's because he doesn't go for the early army here like Margougou. He's going double docks to go for galleys. So because Margougou's so close, it could be slightly better for Margougou if he's going with one dock fires, but it feels like with Sebastian's micro that it's inevitable he's going to win water. But that's if he can continue to produce galleys, and you just can't continue to produce galleys while also having to respect the scouts. So tough. Ferox is sitting at the airport with a delayed flight and 5-degree temperature. Man, hopefully the airport Wi-Fi holds up for you. I always have a nightmare with that. And hopefully your flight's not delayed for too long. Enjoy the beer. I've had some nightmarish situations recently with airports, so hopefully things are pretty good for you. It's not cold where I live, but I think in a lot of places it's crazy cold right now, right? Maybe people in chat can tell me, but I know some friends who are, and people in the Discord even, who were talking about a lot of snow. Villager got sniped on the shoreline from Margougou, so he's under more pressure to do some damage now. And it's possible that Sebastian defends from this, but it's not going to be easy here. This map is not designed to be easy to play at all, and Margougou gets right through. That's good for Margougou. I think that's really important. He also killed the scout. So now, Margougou loves to be annoying, and now these scouts can do just that. I didn't mean that in, like, a personality way when I said Margougou loves to be annoying. He's a great guy. I think Margougou will be happy that he didn't immediately lose his fish. This is a lot of work for Sebastian right now because he has to respect the scouts. Wow, chat's talking about crazy amounts of snow. That's crazy. So no wonder you guys are watching this stream right now. Let's go. That's good for me. Snow day for chat. The fishing ship's getting sniped. KD's looking great for Sebastian. But I think the difference could be the army on land here from Margougou. He's going double range and also has the scouts. And he'll be through here. Like, that palisade's not enough to keep him alive. And then defensive spearmen from Sebastian might not be enough either. And this is just what I love about the map, right? There's so many different things you can do. And it's not clearly one player wins water and wins the game, or one player wins land and wins the game. There's positives and there's negatives to pretty much everything. It's also easier for Margougou to control, I'd say, right now, because your job's pretty simple. You maybe send a fire out later on to snipe a fishing ship or two, but you've just given all that up. He's on the outside, built the mill there on the berries. Archers and scouts go this way, see a tower and see some spears, and now look where they're going to go. And Sebastian, this is actually crazy. He was long distance mining stone, still is. He foresaw the fact that he would need a second tower. How many people just die right there? Like, everybody. But he understood that in a couple minutes that this whole thing would play out this way. And his fire galley comes over to intercept. Margougou trying to block the fire. Sebastian not allowing that. And now Margougou has to think, where can I really do damage? I still think there's plenty of opportunity, though. Some players get discouraged. If you keep looking, you're going to find it. And on water, Margougou had a fire, which eventually got sniped. Sebastian's looping around with the galleys, and Margougou's just diving the tower. Dives the tower, but sees a couple archers and backs away. Farming eco is pretty big for a player that doesn't have fish. Margougou has some farms. Still some sheep. These galleys become a big factor. When someone wins the water and they can just control this crossing even, it's so important later on. think the best thing for Margougou to do right now is try and reach Castle Age a little bit faster and just keep making Sebastian work. I kind of liked the idea of diving the tower, honestly. I think he might have been able to stay there a bit longer. Like, he is fletching. His opponent doesn't have fletching. I definitely think he could have stayed there. But he was a little frightened. And, uh-oh, Margougou, Margougou, Margougou! Stay humble! Oh, that's what staying humble can do. If he wasn't humble, all those scouts go down to the demo. He even split them up in the last moment. And look at this army from Margougou. Crazy amounts of army. Sebastian might need another demo, just in case Margougou moves across here. Market now for Margougou, probably feeling the pressure because the opponent can fish, and he cannot. And he'll buy some food. He sells off all his stone. Snipes 2 archers here. Margougou will cook up to Castle Age. Let's go, Margougou. It's the Margougou survival tour right now. This is a great game for him. So, Sebastian's walls haven't offered a ton for him. He's been very defensive. And with the water control he has, he only has 5 fishing ships. It's not like he's up to much more than that. Margougou's like, fine, I can't kill you yet, but I'll just take out your farms then. How do you like it? That hurts. That's annoying. And I'd love for Margougou to just go for a siege workshop and try and win this in early Castle Age. What you might need, though, is you might need to loop your army around to the middle so you can control that region and siege push from there. You don't want to go forward without protection. Oh, man. Scouts get through from Margougou. Can he finally get his first eco kill? He's had good control, but he didn't get kills, and there he goes. Just doesn't feel like Sebastian's been able... It feels like he gave up a little bit too much of land, right? And... you know, he got the water. But what's his gold situation going to be like even? He's about to run out of this gold, and villagers are already starting to walk over to the other 2 tiles here. Look at Margougou's micro. Scouts are still moving around. Kills another villager. Margougou's playing amazing here. Oh, man, and he's trying to redock, and that's just not going to work. I like the move, but he needs a sneakier position than that. And, oh, man, his scouts... maybe find another villager pick. 3 villagers killed from the scouts. That's good. They were all pretty weak anyways. Now Margougou goes for crossbowman. Now he goes for bodkin. And there is a sneak dock here now. So no siege workshop yet. No knights. He'll have a minute here with these upgrades to try and pressure Sebastian. Before... the tower looks pretty good, but now that Sebastian's chopped through so many trees, I'm not sure the tower will protect everything. And Margougou's all over him, guys. It's be so easy to just write yourself off and say, well, I'm relegated. Doubt and I are going down. And not, you know, practice and take this moment as seriously. But this is clear, man. Margougou's just all over him. Kills more villagers. And he'll be through as well, right? Like, these walls are going to go down. Where's Sebastian's army at the moment? Sebastian's army was somewhere. Seeing the navy. Oh, his army's over here. He's got to chase this down. Yo, Paco, thank you so much for the prime. Margougou can switch back onto water. He could take the crossings. He can take the fish away from Sebastian. Sebastian won't have very good eco at all. But if Sebastian notices this... which he will, then Sebastian could maybe still hold that water control. It's been really awkward for Sebastian on land. He gets a lead skirm now. And he sees this army from Margougou, but Margougou's micro is top tier. So Margougou's fire ships need to pay off for him now. They need to maybe loop around the other areas. On land, skirms with full armor and full attack are going to be a big problem. He doesn't have a stable. He has no easy way to engage on these skirms. And Sebastian just runs right next to the crossbows. Honestly, Margougou's making the most of this. But now he's got to get out of here. TC number 2 for Margougou. Sebastian's kind of held. There's also skirms over here. There's so many crossbows for Margougou, but there's 13 skirms with full armor, full attack for Sebastian. And Just wonder if Margougou is worried now because he's losing so much army. He still hasn't killed the fish. He does have a stable, though. So I didn't see he had that. Knights should be out. TC will complete. That's TC number 2. Now, you need armor on the knights. And for knights, you need food. He doesn't really have it. So it's not super easy here. But maybe he gets to 2 knights. Maybe he could push this back. Fires are coming this way. Okay, Sebastian will lose the fish. What a game, guys. TC number 2 for Sebastian. He sees the knights, but he still has those leftover archers in the mix, so 2 knights won't be enough. Thing I'm thinking about right now is the food income. The fact that there's decent amounts of farms for Sebastian is a big positive for him. It's like not really realistic for Margougou to make villagers out of 2 TCs and get armor on the knights and produce a lot of knights. This is why I think Siege could have maybe been his best play, but it might be too little too late for that. He's starting to struggle now, guys. Crossbowmen run into the army there. Here the skirms are still camping. Here's where he actually has the siege workshop. Chat, I'm laughing because I can see automod is not allowing someone. Bro, just give it up. It's not even that funny. All I'm going to say to chat is someone thought it would be funny to have a sentence with the word schlong and Teutonic Knight in it. And then after they tried that message 3 times and automod picked up on it, they then changed it to, instead of schlong, the actual word. And they just kept spamming it, and automod wouldn't let it happen, and I could I could see it. It's funny now that automod denied it. And how many times you tried. Sebastian is just running away with this, guys. I don't know how. He's got so many crossbows. He's got so many skirms. His micro is absolutely insane. And it's just fallen in this position where he feels inevitable. Which is what I said about Sebastian all of 2024. He might actually get trapped. No, there's a hole. I was going to say, he might actually get trapped in there. Like the counter-attacking from Margougou. He's lost a lot of control this game. And, oh, the shots! The shots could have been enough, but Sebastian backs away now. I don't think it's fair to say that Margougou's done no damage in this game. He did a lot of damage. He killed a lot of vills. He's actually finding some villager kills here. He also killed all the fish. But I think we're also seeing the slight difference in why people... Well, I actually don't know where the difference in resources collected really come from, beyond maybe a lot of gold being mined for Sebastian. But Knight comes forward, gets the snipe. It's a really close game. I was going to credit Sebastian's res collected to the... I think I was going to credit it to the mule cart upgrades, but he's just now getting bowsaw, so it's not like he's had that upgrade this whole time. But it definitely feels like Sebastian is setting the pace right now. Yeah, fishing ships could have been part of it. Actually, we could look, just see what the differences is. Yeah, it's just 400 more food, right? He's had a lot more on gold than Margougou. He took all the golds here. He's also getting relics now. That'll be 3 relics. 4 relics! Yikes! It's going to be tricky for Margougou, but his 3rd TC is coming up. It was a clean start for Margougou, but Sebastian has pulled ahead. Guys, the thing about Sebastian that's so fun to watch is how consistent he is with all of his production. Like, his TCs always seem to have a healthy Vil queue. His ranges, if he's going range units, always seem to be producing healthy amounts as well. Whatever he's doing in that moment, you know, because he's always active with the production. Now, I say that as he's not producing anything out of his archery ranges, so maybe bad timing, but he's going to move forward and drop a castle here on the center hill. There's gold there. And honestly, you could maybe place it a little bit further forward here. There's nothing from Margougou to really stop this, right? There might be siege. There's a mangonel. Counter raid from Margougou. Did find some nice Vil picks over here. 5 villager kills on those crossbows. Crossbows for Sebastian will chase it down. And there's the castle from Sebastian that Margougou can see, but can do nothing about. How are you supposed to defend that? Also, Sebastian put his mule cart on the knight control group. You know, mule cart, knight, it's all the same. That mule cart will go back now. Castle is all that Sebastian wants in this position, and that castle will complete. For a second there, Sebastian also had stone walls placed here. I think that's pretty smart. I think even stone walling in this area could be good later on. Redemption now for Sebastian. He might end up converting all of these buildings and any siege that Margougou has in defense, and Margougou just cannot seem to get a foothold in this game. He has siege here to defend. He did try some counterattacks, but feels like it's all Sebastian right now. Big shot there from Margougou. Sebastian with the rare mistake, but only loses 1 unit. Yeah, this is going to get overwhelming here. You can't defend with siege now that the monks will be out. All your buildings, you either have to delete or they belong to the enemy soon. I think you have to delete them. You have to. You can't give your opponent these buildings. But then if you delete them, then the monks can immediately just convert another building. Defensive castle from Sebastian. And look at these outposts, guys. He sees Margougou. He knows Margougou is going to be coming through there. And listen. Listen to the monks. No. Margougou. Converted range, converted stable, converted market, converted university. But the monks can't convert the siege, at least. Sebastian knows those crossbows are going through and is stone-walled, but he doesn't know there's a hole there, actually. But when you're Margougou and you're advancing forward into nothing but outposts, you don't exactly feel confident. Because you know the opponent sees you. Especially when you move this far and then you see another outpost and stone walls. You're like, oh no. I think pretty soon Sebastian can just cross over here with his monks and his skirms and his crossbows. And this might be over, guys. Margougou's crossbowmen cannot advance. There is still a hole, but he doesn't seem to believe there is one. And now the siege can get converted by the monks. He has no army that can contest this. His opponent even has siege in the push now. What a great start from Margougou, but Sebastian just turned it around, man. I mean, his early Castle Age was so crazy. It's like the second he got to those skirms, Margougou didn't really know what to do, and Margougou didn't have the eco to go for many knights. That was the issue. And if you go for knights and the Armenian player makes monks, they're going to convert those knights, right? I also like the recognition from Sebastian to know that all those relics are super easy to get in the middle. Got up to the 4 relics. Just like, you have to stay ahead of a player like Sebastian. If you don't stay ahead of him, he's going to beat you. And that's exactly what happened here. I thought it was a good game from Margougou. But again, things are not looking good for Margougou. He needs victories. And he needs multiple victories, ideally. Because Sebastian just didn't give him an opportunity there. Also, guys, I know that a lot of people like to complain about the Armenian units. But their eco is insane. So, game number 2, Margougou goes for Sebastian's home map. But honestly, this map feels like a Margougou home map. I think he picked Fortified Clearing because he knows he's going to need... He knows he's going to need something a little different. But this is still the comfort zone for Margougou. Persians have been one of the best civs on the map as well, so I like the pick. Ash's suggestion, getting to 1200 elo is massive, trust me. Okay. Guys, yesterday, and I'm probably going to make videos on this, MBL was playing ranked. He got up against someone who was 1400 elo, and he never made more than 19 vills. He stopped at 19 vills. He said, I'm going to beat this person with 19 villagers only. And he did. And then people were like, there's no way that would work against me. I'm 1600. And he did. And eventually it worked its way up. 1,800, 1,900, 2K players were like, hey, come on, play me next. It's honestly, it was pretty crazy. And so I think like people who were watching that, and I'd like to make a video on this, but I think people who felt good about their rank didn't feel so good about their rank after that beatdown. It's crazy. I never thought it was possible, man. Never thought it was possible. But yeah, I'll update you guys on that. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about your 1,200 elo, by the way. That's above average. This game's extremely hard, and you got to work really hard to get there. But it's pretty crazy when you have like a high-level player be able to do things like that. And then the thing that was so offensive to me is that people were like, do it against T90! Do it against T90! Like, I felt so insulted that people actually think that would work. And then it's like, it's a lot of pressure now. Like, if I ever play it, I've got nothing to gain. If I win, I should. If I lose, I just get laughed at, you know? So, MBL did say, he says, no, it wouldn't work on T90. It wouldn't work on T90, so I'll take that. So, dock's coming up in the middle. They both got a fish conveniently right next to their dock. Only 2 fish. 2 deep fish, anyways. The short fish, there is a lot of food, though. There's like 1,400 food, so certainly is something. Usually you're not seeing players commit to more than 2 fires here. Sometimes players won't even make a single one. But if it ends up being 1 fire ship versus 1 fire ship, the Portuguese ships do have more HP. I wonder if Margougou is going to think about that. Even the fishing ships have a little bit more HP, right? So the Persians have the better build because of the extra wood and food at the start to get the dock up and have this build up, but Portuguese could be better at contesting the water. I think long-term the matchup is very even. If there's enough economy out for Sebastian to be able to go double gold comp, that's where things get really complicated. Portuguese, one of the best civs to go crossbowmen and knights at the same time. Not many other civs can do that. But the Persian economy is really tough to slow down. So Margougou needs... If Margougou gets 1 win today, I think he then needs a 3-0 win over Doubt to survive if Dragonstar doesn't win any more games. I think. Because I don't think he can tie Dragonstar. I think Dragonstar would beat him in the tiebreak. So that's already tough. But, I mean, you just got to put a win on the board. That's the only thing you can control. Sopaman says, oh, Mr. T90 official forgot about Archer Island. Listen, that was an old version of me. That was so long ago now, I don't even think it's the same person. Present day me would never make such a mistake. I would instead get confused by hyper-random and fences and think that it was a palisade wall and, you know, and die to a canoe. But I would never make those other mistakes, you know? Never. There's too much logic and wisdom now. Right? I hope. No. Nope. Like I said in that video, the elo can go up, but the brain's still dumb. Elo doesn't change that. Wow, so Margougou sends 3 to gold. And this should lead to him eventually winning water. It's just so funny to me, though. They finished the deep fish. They're just fighting over some scraps. But scraps are still... That's still an advantage. So fire ship on the way here for Margougou. And Sebastian also on gold. I think, from my understanding of the builds, though, if you go mining camp on gold, you're also going archers. It's just, it's a heavy commitment to stay on gold, and you're not going to be making Navy all that much longer, so we may see archers from both. Sebastian did see the mining camp on gold, so he doesn't even need to scout the range to know his opponent's going archers too, in my opinion. Fires out for Margougou a little faster. Margougou sees the vills on golds. And Margougou sees the range as well. Could delay the range somewhat. But he's spotted. So yeah, they're both going to be going for archers and fires. So Persian fire, 100 HP. That's normal. And then Portuguese, 110. So I think that could make a difference here. And eventually when Portuguese go to berries, you also get some wood income from that. So Portuguese normally collect more resources than their opponents in feudal because of that. There are other civs that could do a bit better there, but still. So range was up a little faster for Margougou. Fires were out faster for Margougou. And this is where Margougou thrives. But he cannot make a mistake, and Sebastian's showing some extreme patience here. Repairing his ships, and again, he's got more HP. Margougou also repairing now. Again, they are fighting over scraps in the middle. But they're both committed towards this, and oh man, the repair micro. Beautiful there. Scout goes down for Margougou, though. I think Scout's going to be really valuable here. Margougou should be able to win water now, though. Yeah, that's nice. Now, I say win it. I don't know if he'll notice this. He's actually hitting the dock, guys. He's not hitting the fire. Now he is. And now this should be where Margougou should make another ship here. I think, if anything, Sebastian might try and demo the fish. But I guess there is a chance he wants to demo the 3... Well... He could kill all 3 fires. Margougou's like, I want water. He won't make anything more now. Okay, well, Margougou spreads out his ships. Sebastian still has that scout. Margougou lost his scout. The demo, I think, moved out to go kill fish and did nothing there. So much to focus on. You can tell how fast these two are. Fletching's on the way for Margougou. He's been really good with his timings. It was the same with the previous game. Like, Feudal Age was awesome, but in Castle Age, he just kind of fell behind a little bit. Wonder if there's a lack of confidence because of how that went. Oh, man, Sebastian is horrible. Overextends, didn't track the army, and will lose all of his archers here and only kill 1. No better opportunity for Margougou. No better opportunity for Margougou to try and get victories now. And he still is his home map. This is not his home map. This is Sebastian's home map. He could win this, go to his next game with some momentum, win 2 here, and maybe survive. Tower from Sebastian in defense. I'm really curious to see Sebastian try and stabilize now, because you can't protect everything with just 1 tower. And tower protects the wood. And now Margougou will move to the hill and see the archers and skirms from Sebastian. But... he's got more army queued up here, Margougou, and this is what he wants, man. Margougou is the type of player where you can do the same thing, and he can just outplay you. I would say the same about Sebastian. And Sebastian makes mainly skirms now. I think Margougou's wise to back away. Sees the armors in on the skirms. Should have no business sticking around there. Now, had he opened 1 range... it'd feel pretty natural for him to maybe add a stable now, but it's actually kind of an interesting move. He's just going to add his own skirms. Nice farm eco. I like the balance on the berries. I like the wood line. Everything's super smooth for him. But everything pretty within reach for Sebastian, and Margougou can't really be hanging around when there's this many skirms. Unresed, what's up? Thank you. Thanks for the new Prime. What game is this? This is called Fortnite. It's why you see so many quick walling and... I don't know. That was a bad joke. But... Never... I played 1 game of Fortnite my entire life. So... I don't really know if there... I don't really know if there's a good comparison. Margougou backs away. 16 to 5 KD. 3 seconds of idle TC time. I mean, this is the dream. He's living the absolute dream. Kills the scout now. And just using his own skirmishers as a buffer there to keep those archers alive. Look at these resources for Margougou. This is a victory for Margougou, isn't it? Margougou, he's got to stay humble. But this feels like a great position. And in the previous game, there were all these different factors, right? There was like the water, there's the land, you have to evacuate, do you devacuate? But here, it's Acropolis, and it's pretty clear where you can target. The wood line's actually something you can target with Castle Age armies, even though the tower's there. You could also target all of this area. You just got to keep that army alive. Margougou showed in the previous game he can get a lead, but then he wasn't able to quite finish the job and Sebastian stabilized. This happens all the time when you've got like top 10 player versus someone who's even 10 rankings beyond them. And right now, I would say that's pretty much the description of these two. Like, Margougou, I'd maybe put between 20 and 30th in the world. Sebastian, I'm putting in my top 5. And Margougou, here to prove me wrong. Villagers get sniped. May struggle with army consistency in Castle Age, though. You want to get to Castle Age and still have some army. I see a stable, though, so his plan might be to go for knights. Honestly, I think if he continued to produce archers and just focused on crossbowmen, his situation would be sick. But I think he's scared to do that because he saw skirms. Also, sneaky Margougou. That's the most Margougou army I've ever seen. Wedged under the edge of the map, trying to sneak. That's good micro, but Sebastian's micro and his numbers are just too good here. So Sebastian will get the clear. Margougou's making him work, though. Look how long it takes to kill this army. That's a pretty big factor. Sebastian can't look to the... Now Sebastian can't defend the front. He has to drop a tower. Even though Margougou lost that army, I'd say there's some positives there. Also, Margougou never sold his stone, so he could build the second TC. But he goes for Elite Skirm. Bodkin, he's going for full armor. And there's a university going at home for ballistics, and he wants to find those archers right now, and he's going to see them. And it's crazy how fast Margougou and Sebastian move forward when they have a lead. It was the same with Sebastian in the previous game. Also, I think I have to buy a new mouse. It's so annoying that every time I try and scroll out or in, well, not every time. I'd say like every 10th time, it goes the opposite direction. And I've tried to clean it. I've searched around on what I could do. I just can't handle it, man. Margougou runs right into a knight here, and he has completely lost track of these crossbowmen. And it's going to take those crossbowmen some time to get to his base. Is he going to expect them? A couple crossbowmen sit behind the wood line. And Sebastian has held. Knight crossbow is what the Portuguese are best at. That's the situation we're going to be in. And Margougou is placing a town center that, honestly, this could have been just 3 trees. So it's kind of a... He's fortunate that it's a good town center based on his scouting. But Sebastian will not see that. Sebastian's going to head to the hill instead. That could still be fine for Margougou. Margougou has ballistics. He's behind the wood line, chipping away at the eco. The TC will complete. He's got crossbowmen. He's got skirms. He's got knights. And will he notice this? It feels like with a good reaction here, Margougou's in a great situation. But he has to react in time. It's such a random army. You're not expecting this. Hello? Hello? Sebastian knew that Margougou didn't notice. They're looking at the main fight. And there's crossbows underneath Margougou's TC, and he doesn't know what's happening. And so Sebastian's going to stay here. Oh, Margougou's like, I'm completely out-microing him. I'm completely killing him. And he has no clue. Margougou. Oh. And Sebastian knows. Sebastian's like, I got to micro as hard as I can here, and he'll never notice. Ay, 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 dude. Margougou just noticed. When micro-nerding goes wrong, crossbows killed 20 vills. And he could still win the game. That's the crazy thing. Like, this game is still winnable because he had such a nice position. But what a find from Sebastian. What a find there from Margougou. And now Margougou, who needs wins, is just in such a desperate situation. Just imagine what that does to your mentality when you look back and everything you had here's gone. It's not going to do great things for it. That's for sure. He's got no vills on food. Nikov says, I just heard Margougou's keyboard flying outside. Yes, Margougou is now not playing with a keyboard, actually. He has thrown it out the window. So he's playing mouse only. Still super close, but oh, that was brutal. And guys, like I said, it's like the top guys just kind of find a way. And that sneaky crossbow army, it took so long to get there. But it was smart from Sebastian. A lot of people don't stay underneath the TC, but he knew Margougou was distracted. And so took everything, man. Just took everything. And now, still 1 TC for Sebastian, but he'll feel like this game is within reach. And it absolutely is. He has ballistics. He has enough range units on the field, and he is ahead in Vils and could start to think about booming a little bit as well. I like the amount of outposting we're seeing from Sebastian. He did the same in the previous game. Look at this. I'm a big outpost guy. I don't know if you guys have picked up on that with my casting. Now, you do need the stone for TCs, but this has become such a micro-fest, such a raiding game. And it's such an exposed map. I think that information's key. It's kind of funny, though. I don't think Sebastian knows Margougou's over here. I don't think he has any clue that TC is there. He's like, I know I killed a lot of Vils, but did I kill that many? Margougou's turn to be sneaky. If Margougou can find Sebastian in another engagement at the same time, he could do the same thing. Nope, Sebastian noticed it. That's crazy. Noticed it right away. But the TC was going to go up here. That has to be deleted. Honestly, I think Sebastian just needs to leave the hill anyways. But he doesn't have the stone for a TC. Oh, no, he's placing it here. Okay. Chat, who wins this game? Can Margougou bring it back? Now only 7 Vils behind. You just have to forget what happens. The current situation, who wins this game? There's a lot of skirms out there for Sebastian. But Margougou's Persians with 2 TCs. Lots of ranged units. Lots of initiative right now. I don't know if we'll have the initiative much longer, though. These crossbows will all get sniped. Sebastian, his eco isn't really the best, though. Easy to say Sebastian because it's Sebastian, and Margougou's got to be kicking himself for throwing a little bit, but do the skirms actually amount to much offensive pressure right now for Sebastian? I'm not so sure. Siege Workshop from Margougou is fantastic. Wild to me, Sebastian doesn't know about any of this eco. The farms is a spec thing, so no clue. Just no clue, and Margougou is going to come back with another army, which Sebastian will have to react to. Bill counts even now. Margougou, I think he needs more vision on the right side. Like, this is such a good area to boom into, but he doesn't have vision there, so he's going to TC there. I mean, that TC with Persians is pretty good. Other TCs, or other civs, you'd consider this TC a target. But it is kind of a tough area for Sebastian to pressure against Persians. Here comes Margougou again with another sneaky army. But wood is definitely a concern right now. This wood line's already inefficient. And now this wood line could be siege pushed. And Sebastian with his outpost will see all of that. Well, no, he won't. Well, no, he will. And then Town Watch comes in too, so he gets even more vision. Army from Margougou. And it forces a lot of reactions. But it is a good reaction from Sebastian. And Sebastian comes back to where the crossbows were before. And dives underneath the TC again. I think it's actually could be a good fight for Sebastian in the end, but the start wasn't great. And there's so much other things to look at. There's the siege push, where they just went 1-to-1. But yeah, sure, your TC has more HP, but your wood choppers, sorry, are going to be needed to repair. The wood efficiency is a problem. And that is 3 mangonels. So there, again, there's no better civilization to defend in this situation than maybe the Persians, at least because of their town center HP. But you're still going to lose your town center pretty fast if you don't get a response here. Sebastian about to get relic number 2. Sebastian TC number 3. Sebastian killing off this army. Sebastian's skirms are still over here. Look at how many skirms Margougou sent over here. And now he's like, oh, I must have killed those skirms. Let's go forward. Just missed a mangonel going down. But I think that makes it even more clear just how much is happening right now. And how difficult a position this is right now for Margougou. It's too many things to focus on. Skirms going down. TC going down. And you could see the panic set in. And now Sebastian's back to the golds. And now poor Margougou was just there. And now he has to react. And Sebastian's going for redemption now too. Just like the previous game, he can just convert any defensive Margougou siege. Margougou, 11 villager lead. But can he win fights now? Can he find good engagements? There is a lot of skirms. He could snipe the monks. Sebastian backs away. Margougou's TC being repaired. Feels like we'll definitely see a castle from Sebastian in this position. But it's a matter of how aggressive can it be. All right, Margougou, it's time to micro, my friend. Let's see your micro. That's a lot of siege. I mean, you do and you don't have to micro here. The fact that you have to fight maybe goes back to the TC position not being ideal. But you do kind of have to fight this. That's a good move from Margougou. That would have been a conversion for Sebastian. So he deleted. Here Sebastian knows Margougou will go for the monk. Look at the amount of villagers here and the inefficiencies right now for Margougou. Sebastian backs away from a shot. Sebastian dropping a castle. Margougou! You can't stop it, can you? I mean, that mangonel can't do it because it will be converted. That mangonel can't do it because it'll be converted. Unless you kill the monks. He's trying to kill the monks, but Sebastian's microing. The micro is actually fantastic from both, but one of the mangonels gets converted. And a lot of the skirmishers go down. The castle will go up, which is key. And so the TC, the siege workshop, all of this is such a liability. Guys, Margougou just has no vision in the corner. He doesn't know about how safe all that stuff was. He doesn't know about how safe it is. He still has a 15 eco lead. He cleared up the raids. But even though he has the Vil lead, the efficiency's not there because Sebastian's just taken such amazing trades. I think Sebastian's going to finish this game with knights now. His eco's good enough to make that switch. He's got a lot in queue. It's mainly skirms for Margougou. And there's a lot of exposed eco with no town centers. Margougou had this game. It's kind of reminiscent of Doubt's games against Yo yesterday, honestly. Maybe it was a bit more significant, but good openings, good strategies, and then just letting the game slip away, right? And then what do you have to do? Like, you go camels? Okay, cav archers maybe. But any of that could struggle against the monks and the organs. It's just you don't have momentum. Momentum is key in any game. And Sebastian found his way to find momentum when he had none due to that crossbow raid. Panic defensive towers for Margougou. The towers will do a decent amount to hold here. So they'll go up. Still, crazy Vil count. But it almost feels like Sebastian will take this as an opportunity to go imp then. If you can't raid, you might as well just go up to imp for trebs or something. I don't think... Maybe you could go +2 armor on the knights. And just dive the towers. But that feels a little bit risky. And I don't think Sebastian's really going to be interested in taking many risks. And Margougou just crammed into this corner. The nice thing is, as he continues to move further and further into the corner, he's going to find resources. There's relics, there's gold, there's wood. But now Sebastian's on the way to imp. And there's not a whole lot you can do against trebs if you're Margougou. So Margougou needs to push back now. He's doing everything he can. He's making his own knights. He's making full vils, full army, as much as possible, as quickly as possible. Could maybe get a counterattack here, but he doesn't know there's anything there. But a lot of this army also needs to respect the skirms, needs to respect the knights, needs to respect the organ guns that Sebastian has. There has to be some type of respect for the siege, which is still taking out the TC. And there goes the raid from Margougou. Ooh, I don't know about that one, Margougou. Well, the cav archers and the crossbows are helping you out by blocking that. I mean, if it goes up and he can get rams and knights, maybe he could make an all-in play for the castle. It does protect the front of his base. He does have bodkin. He does have ballistics. It will go up. All right. Well, I mean, population's pretty close. Margougou's still with the villager lead. And pushing back a lot of the skirms and a lot of the organ guns. But if Sebastian makes trebs and they can be protected, I'm pretty certain we just see that castle get trebs down. Quick walls from Margougou, very well, or sorry, from Sebastian rather. And yeah, all this military just gets funneled into the castle. And there's enough army here. Sebastian's gonna go Arbalest. Sebastian's got crazy resources. He's got all 5 relics. Well, not all 5. He's got 4. But that's close to 5. And Margougou says... Oh, poor Margougou. He's ranting before the GG, so we all get to see it. Oh, he's so upset. Oh my god. Oh, Margougou. He's blaming the pathing, which I mean, the pathing has affected a lot of games in some ways. And Sebastian points out that it wasn't just the pathing, it maybe was also the fact that you lost some villagers at your base. He says the pathing early Castle Age was illegal. I'm not sure what pathing he was necessarily referring to. It could have been... I'm not sure. Like, maybe he felt like he got too close to the enemy because he clicked away at some point. Our base says go back to the middle fight around 25 minutes. Okay, I'm actually curious now. So, I mean, 25 minutes, he's losing all these vills. He loses the game because of this, not pathing. But the regrouping is an issue in the game, absolutely. And it's unfortunate. Like, Margougou's not wrong, by the way. Like, it's absolutely abysmal at times. I'm curious, though, like, does he overextend because of it or something? I'm not sure. I mean, if you have to overcorrect because of bad pathing and then you don't notice something, I mean, there's definitely something to that. I don't think pathing necessarily lost in the game. I didn't really see it. But unfortunately, poor Margougou's tilted out of his mind. And I don't know. I think he's looking here. Yeah, look at him. I guess he's trying to move his units and they're not moving. Or they moved in towards the enemy. That definitely didn't look great. And so as he's trying to fix that, he's losing everything. So that could have been maybe if the fight goes a little bit better, maybe, you know, things change there. But Sebastian up 2-0. And Margougou knew he was desperate for wins. Yeah, guys, like, I'm basically at a state, like, where I can't spend the whole game complaining about regrouping and pathing issues, but I do see it pretty frequently. So I'll go to bat to Margougou a little bit for that. But this is what lost him the game, and Margougou out. Maybe even deleted the TC at the end. So, sorry, I said Margougou's out. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think he's still got some slight chances, but it's not great. Sebastian with 2 wins, still trying to catch up to Leary here. Margougou now has 0.78% chance to survive. There is a chance, people. There is a chance. 0.78% chance is still a chance. He could survive. All he needs to do is win this game, win 3 against Doubt, and then hope that Sebastian 3-0's Dragonstar. And honestly, Margougou was ahead in that game. He could have got a win. Sebastian's probably going to crush Dragonstar. Dragonstar, I'm sorry. I love you, bro. But Sebastian's insane. So, if that's all that he needs, maybe it's doable. He would need Dragonstar to lose everything, and he needs this win, and he needs to win the 3 against Doubt. But let's start with this win, because Sebastian playing like an absolute god. If Sebastian were to lose this next game, by the way, I think that means it's very unlikely he ever gets first place, but that's going to be tough regardless. So, actually, before we talk about game number 3, you know what being an Age of Empires 2 fan is like with pathing? It's like being in a toxic relationship. It's like being in an abusive relationship, because you see the good sides of Age of Empires 2, and you're like, oh, this is a good game. This is amazing community. There's a lot of positives here. I want to spend the rest of my life with this game. And then the pathing is just freaking brutal. And then when you point out and you're like, the pathing is awful, it's bad, it needs to be better, and you try and have that discussion, the patch notes say, we have improved the pathing. And then you're like, but did you? Like, they said they improved it. You feel gaslit. You're like, well, I don't know what to think anymore. So, yeah, anyways, game number 3. Margougou needs to win this game, and Margougou needs to win every single game he plays against Doubt. Every single one. I'm sure Doubt is excited about that. The Doubt is going to make that extremely difficult. But the reality is, if Margougou loses this, Margougou is relegated to Gold League for the next season. We've got pretty meta civs here. We've got the Burgundians for Sebastian. We've got the Bohemians for Margougou. So both these civilizations in my top 5 for the map. And if they're played to their full potential, we could have a real banger on our hands. Now, I personally prefer the Burgundians ever so slightly, but I think the Bohemians have their windows. I think like the Bohemian windows in this matchup are actually much stronger, but they're harder to get to. Burgundians maybe a little bit more suited for the map with a little bit more mobility, as you have the openness on the sides. And then also 9 relics on the map, more relics for them to take advantage of, because they also get a little bit of food income from the relics. Yeah, the colors are wrong. They've switched colors, so it's Dark Age. I'm going to switch the colors back. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that. So Sebastian's to the northeast, and Margougou's towards the southwest now. But yeah, this is a fun map, man. It's been a long time since we've had fortified clearing in a set. This has been banned a lot. I guess there's not many players in Platinum that are necessarily seen as closed map players. There are some who are still very good on the maps, right? Like Viper's one that comes to mind. Dark actually likes to play these maps sometimes. But I will see this, and we'll see Zong, and we'll see Pacific Islands more in the playoffs when it's best of 5s and there will be more games. The group stage, you're only playing 3 games. There's lots of bans. It's all about like finding the neutral map between the 2 players and the best map for each player. So not forced out of their comfort zone quite as much, you know? Wayward Knight, thank you for the 14. Says, hey, T90, I missed an explanation. When is Nikov versus Barrels? So Barrels and Nikov were supposed to play yesterday, and Barrels is sick at the moment. So we were hoping to finish this round today, but we're not going to just force Barrels to play when he's sick. So we're going to, hopefully that happens soon. I think that will be broadcasted on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So basically, once the 5th round starts, we will hopefully have Barrels and Nikov as the very first set covered to finish the 4th round first. So that's the update. He just isn't feeling good. So it won't happen today. It won't happen tomorrow. Probably on like Friday or whatever. So thank you. Hope Barrels feels better. Yeah, me too. Me too. We had a couple instances. I mean, it's a long event, and we don't have... First off, many players aren't full-time, but, you know, people have got life, families, things happen, people get sick, so we do our best to accommodate where we can. But it seems like it's just going to be a boomy game, guys. So if you have questions, feel free to ask away. That was a good question. I should have probably touched on that before. We do have another series at the to finish the day after this. We have Hart Valis. Hart still trying to keep pace in first place, and Valis trying to survive. And Valis has some chances, actually, because of what happened earlier today, so. The biggest surprise of TTL so far? I think you could say that Dowd having 1 win and 11 losses has got to be up there. As far as the biggest surprise. Like, that's got to be one of them. But I think beyond that, I think Dark being top of Group D is got to be the biggest for me in Platinum. He's played incredible. Like, and sure, like, people are always going to be like, well, you know, Viper wasn't taking it too seriously at the start. He was rusty. He's a new dad. You know, whatever. I expected a little bit of rustiness from Viper. But it wasn't like Viper was horrible the first week. Dark beat him. Dark's beat everybody. He's beat everybody he's played. And he's been good on every single map. So I think Dark's got to be the biggest standout. So, Just to be says T90, will the schedule change for the last week similar to Gold League? So it would be amazing to be able to have a group a day. So to finish Group A one day, Group B the other, etc. That may not be possible with player schedules though. So if we're gonna try, but that obviously means we have to have things be way more structured, and that might not be doable. So that is TBD. We'll do our best on that. But at the end of the day, may not be possible. Do you see Dragonstar ever hitting top 10? I don't think... I think if Dragonstar was going to hit top 10, he probably would have had those opportunities. He's been around a really long time. So I don't think Dragonstar is really a player who can reach top 10, at least consistently. I definitely think that maybe if the strats go well, if the preparation's there, maybe there could be a deep run at some point. But no, I don't really see Dragonstar as a future top 10 player. But Dragonstar's performance in TTL is an amazing example of what he's capable of. He takes prep serious, and he understood coming into TTL. He's like, it's not going to be easy, but I have some opportunities if I cook up some strats and I play well. And it's not guaranteed he'll survive in his group yet, but it's looking very likely. And he's played really solid. Guys, like, the amount of times that there's a game happening or a tournament happening and Dragonstar has already cooked up a strat is, I mean, it's every tournament he plays in. He doesn't play the ladder much. He just finds other high-level players and he tests strategies or spends 3 hours in single player testing a build and tests it against the others. So it's really exciting. All right, so Margougou needs wins. He was raging at the pathing after this, after game number 2. So if I were in Margougou's position and I was tilted and I really needed wins and Sebastian is this far ahead of me, I would go extreme. I might not be able to just play balanced. I might not be able to play chill. I would go crazy. And so here he goes. He's on stone. He's bringing Vils forward. And he is going to try and drop a castle on Sebastian's face. He does have Loom, but Sebastian sees this. And Sebastian should know what that many villagers means. But can you stop it if you're Sebastian? I think he's trying to block the foundation. Margougou's nervous. And, okay, the castle's on the way up. See, that's not an ideal castle spot, but you know what else isn't ideal? The castle gets denied. So I actually think that's a good play from him just to get that down. Villager goes down. And that castle will go up. So once the castle's up, the gate and the walls could be shot down. Margougou could be in, but there are some downsides. I think you really want the castle near and protecting stone or gold, which this isn't. And you ideally would have had it very forward, which this isn't. So normally, if the Bohemians were booming, they're already going to be behind in res collected compared to the Burgundians. But now you're going all in, and you're definitely going to be behind in res collected compared to the Burgundians. Those upgrades are just too good, and the eco's so smooth. So this is going to be Hussite wagon for now. But I didn't say Hussite wagons because there's a meta here, guys, okay? This is what it is. You go one wagon, and you force the Siege Workshop. They make a mangonel, and then you go YOLO monks and redemption to convert the siege, and then drop another castle on the opponent's face. So you don't... This is not Margougou's eco being problematic. I actually think that he knows Sebastian will go siege to defend it, and so he's already preemptively thinking about redemption. Now, imagine, though, if he had bills on golds here. Like, if this gold would have generated over here, this would have been so much better for him. Unfortunately, it didn't. Okay, he is going to make a second wagon, but he doesn't know the siege is out yet. I actually wouldn't hate him canceling that if you saw that. Because the mangonel is actually a big problem here. But it's like the 1-2 punch with the Bohemians. This is what you need to do. You go wagons, you stop making wagons, and then you go monks. But he doesn't have the gold for redemption. 2 TCs for Sebastian. I mean, as far as Sebastian's concerned, he's chilling. He hasn't really been pushed. It's been uncomfortable. And, you know, if this was at 1,000 elo, there would be a lot of panic on the other side. But Sebastian's not panicked. He's been there, done that. He understands exactly how he can play from this. And it's not like Arena where if you get pushed in the middle, you are stuck. You can actually escape to the outside, so... But yeah, there's redemption. Margougou getting as many relics as possible. The scouts actually came home for Sebastian, interestingly enough. I think he's trying to heal them. And so the relics will help. You also need Sanctity, though. If you don't have Sanctity, your opponent's mangonel can one-shot you in the face. But with Sanctity, the opponent needs 2 hits with the siege to kill you. So that's definitely the next step. Some players who don't monk rush a lot will skip Sanctity because they just think it's enough to scare the opponent anyways. The plan for Sebastian here is to hold from this and go imp as fast as possible. He's on stone, so he could eventually build a castle, but here it gets crazy. Monk is there. Now, Sebastian's play against this is essentially to go into more monks, but that's not easy because he doesn't really have the gold. So this can work. And there could be another castle from Margougou. I like the energy. What else are you going to do? You need wins. You need confidence. You kind of threw the previous game. Don't play normal. Just go aggressive. Barracks converted. Stable about to be converted. And Sebastian still can't really... He's not trying to engage against this. He still isn't that heavily on gold as well, but man, is his food count crazy. Also, Margougou, 5 relics. Pretty wild he got all 5 in the middle. That's sick. Ooh, and Margougou thinks, how can I lose this game? He says, I can lose this game if I get attacked on the outside. Let's stonewall. That's a great play from Margougou. That is an amazing understanding because there may be a push from Sebastian coming. There go the wagons. And the wagons probably shouldn't go too far here. Unless you think the monks can support. Monks can't follow through. Sebastian attack ground. Oh my god, that was good. That was a tasty attack round. Those wagons got flattened. But honestly, that's not actually that horrible for Margougou. It's not. Because he's going to click Imp. And in Imp, he could pressure more. With more monks, more wagons, and then trebs. What a build from Margougou. And now Sebastian will go for Atonement. This is sick. Also, it's just walls here from Sebastian. I mean, I don't hate this. But I really don't know if Margougou will ever try and leave his base. I would hate it if it would delay a castle or something, but he doesn't really need the stone for anything else right now. And Margougou just lurking around with the monks. The second he sees a mangonel, switched his target to the mangonel. Sebastian knew that. Margougou actually he's targeting the monk on different units. But he's not wasting his conversion. But now Atonement is in! Prepare to atone for your sins! And Margougou deletes the monk. Smart move. So I think he'll get Atonement himself. That was his warning. And then Devotion would make a lot of sense if you can get the resources for it. He's adding a barracks because he's concerned about light cabin monks from Sebastian. And there's now a castle for Sebastian. Now, it's a good call. Like, trying to get chemistry here to go bombard cannons does feel normal, doesn't it? But not with this eco, and not when the opponent is going lots of monks. Trebs is actually more than fine here. Margougou, that castle is, like, so crazy. Just back up, bro. Back. Just... Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, it's 43 vills. You can't be losing vills here. Well... Never a doubt. It's kind of funny. This is his stable and his house. So Sebastian would have to delete the blacksmith. Mangonel gets converted. Monks are going to be attacked. Castle goes up. And Treb is already on the way. What is Sebastian supposed to do against this many Trebs? He's going to lose a lot of his base. Also, didn't collect that many more resources because the 1,200 gold brought in from those relics for Margougou. This is sick. Again, guys, like, previous game was Margougou's game. He could have won that game. But, you know, the bad pathing and him losing 20 villagers had an effect, and he fell apart. But this is another good opening from Margougou. This is a great play. Maybe one of the best ways to play the matchup. If he can win here, and if he is that much better than Doubt, as he has been saying consistently over the last 4 weeks, or implying, or joking, probably all both, he could stay alive in the final rounds. Maybe. But 69 villagers for Sebastian versus 47. It's not an easy situation for Sebastian, though. These castles just block you off from doing anything. And he will go light cav. That feels nice. But if it's like... Man, what does Margougou make besides the Trebs and the monks? Well, I guess more monks. The true clown way is just make more monks. Probably. I mean, you could mix in some wagons. The wagons can help mix in some spears. That's good. I don't know how Margougou's monk micro is when you have more than 10. Like, some people are control grouping every one. Other people are just clicking randomly. I'd expect his clicks to be accurate, but still. Sebastian loses his castle. Now, this is where Sebastian should attack the outside. And I think that's where the Rams are going. But how much of his base is going to be lost before then? This would be an epic time for Margougou to just drop a castle right here. Just drop another castle. Just keep sending the pressure. That's a lot of light cap back there. That's great scouting from Margougou. These Rams, they're when you ordered last minute and they said the item's out of stock around Christmas. That's going to get there in February. I guess it is February, but you guys know what I mean. Those Rams are not going to get there in a long time. But when they get there, hopefully the gift is well received. Pikeman upgrade in for Margougou. Again, that scouting was sick, though, because he saw the Hussar now. He knows. So he has to be careful. Monasteries going down. Houses will go down for Sebastian. I think Margougou's going to panic up a castle. No, the Rams! Don't block the Rams, Sebastian! Don't block the Rams! Ah, there's construction. They said the item was supposed to get there this week, Mom. I love the patience from Sebastian. But I don't know if it gets much better. It's a tough situation. You might just need to fight this before the opponent gets halb. Here are the Rams. I think Margougou's going to panic and drop a castle there. Oh, but he wants to drop a castle in Sebastian's face as well. That's a lot of wagons. That's a lot of pikes. And that's a lot of monks. And there goes Margougou. Margougou, be careful, my good friend. For the Rams have arrived. I mean, how far can Sebastian run? Oh, Hussars are diving. Margougou's distracted. Margougou's definitely doing stuff at home. He'll lose a lot of monks here. He'll lose every monk there in that group, actually. But the wagons are still there. The castle could still go up. And yeah, Margougou was reacting here. So the Rams already paid for themselves, I'd say. Evacuation for Sebastian. He's building TCs where he can. But he's losing so much of his base. And the pikes and the wagons are doing enough for Margougou, I think. And Margougou is rewalling. He's adding 1 mangonel, and that should be fine for Margougou. He's held. That's really well played. The fact that he could push and also defend at the same time there is really well played. It's not over, but I think it's close to it. Like, you can't really go Hussars anymore if you're Sebastian. You have to rebuild farms. He did convert some wagons, but he does not have the resources to add more farms. And this push does nothing. I cannot stress to you how happy it makes me that Margougou has chances to survive if he wins this game. Because when he plays Doubt, Doubt has nothing to fight for. And you know Doubt is going to have so much fun with that. Doubt has all the power. He's got nothing to lose. Margougou will have everything to lose. It's going to be an absolute treat to watch. We'll double check the chances for Margougou. But I guess he has to win the game first. And oh man. It's not over till it's over. Those conversions from Sebastian were sick. Oh, those were really good. And now Margougou's starting to lose some monks. And maybe Sebastian's got a chance. More monks are needed for Margougou. I'd like to see Sebastian go for a bombard cannon or something here to try and push down the walls. Wagons have gone this way to raid randomly. But the GG's called. Yeah, Sebastian's just like, I don't know how I can deal with this. This is too much pressure. There's a castle cutting me in half. And I think maybe when the wagons got here, he knew he doesn't have a monastery over there. He can't defend from those, and it would be too much. Honestly, a very good series from Margougou. Unfortunately for him, he didn't get more wins earlier in the group or earlier in the day because things will still be very tough from him. But you could argue that against Sebastian today, he should have won 2-1. Only gets the 1 win, though. Stays alive from what we know. And I said it. I think Bohemians have really strong windows, but it's hard to get there. That's one of them. Super all in, fast imp, win the monk war. And I think it was actually very smart that he didn't go for chemistry because monks can convert those bombard cannons. Instead, he just went for the trebs. The trebs did the job. But way more food for Sebastian, but he couldn't compete with the gold and the stone. And he just couldn't keep up there. It wasn't the type of game the Burgundians want. The Burgundians want the scouts moving around the map and the boom. And Margougou just decided to castle his face. All right. So what does that mean for Margougou? Before that, he had a 0.78% chance at survival. After that result, Margougou moves up to a whopping 1.56% chance to survive and remain platinum. Now, this is the whole group is set as is right now for the 4th round. So they've all played their 4th round. There will be 3 more sets. We'll have Yo versus Leary. Yo versus Leary is a big one. But it's not as meaningful now that Sebastian lost the game, because for Sebastian to pass Leary and get first place, he would need Yo to win 3-0, I think. And then he would need to win 3-0 over Dragonstar. So Leary's most likely first. Now, let's just say that Sebastian 3-0's Dragonstar, which I think could happen. I really do think it could happen. It depends on the type of day both have. Let's say that happens. It's updating. Okay. So if that happens, then Margougou could potentially pass Dragonstar to survive. Now, what would be crazy? Okay, watch this. Let's say game 1, Doubt builds 3 Doubt castles and loses. Margougou gets a win. Game 2, Doubt builds 6 Doubt castles and loses. Margougou up 2-0. Then Margougou needs to win the final game. And imagine the scenes, dude. If Margougou gets to 3-0 on Doubt, he would survive. If he does not, he is relegated. You would never see Doubt play better in that game. If this were to happen, you would see the best version of Doubt ever. I guarantee you that. He's got no pressure on himself, nothing to lose. All the pressure would be on Margougou. Doubt would love that. But I think, like, what I want to say is that it's really unlikely that Margougou 3-0s Doubt. But think about Titans League Season 4 Doubt. Is it that unlikely? Like, Doubt is Doubt. But he's 1-11. I mean, there's been some really rough sets. Maybe Margougou's got chances. I don't know. Most likely, though, it seems like we kind of know where things go. It seems like Leary will be first, Sebastian second, Yo third, Dragonstar fourth. But things could change.